Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And the Nexium case, as much as it was shown in the media and even covered in the sense of exposing, at least minimally, if not whitewashing, the Hollywood ties here, right? You look at Allison Mack and the way that she was kind of almost portrayed as the victim after the fact. When you read the court documents, when you see what was going on there, it did not seem like she was a victim at all. And those Hollywood connections were almost cut off right there, even though that was a huge lure into this. Not because of Keith Raniere, not because of Nexium, not because of Sarah and Clare Bronfman, which is why we're doing this video, okay? But because of their connection to the entertainment industry via Edgar Bronfman Jr. You got to understand, he was involved in all types of media companies outside of just, television, into film, into music. So that was a big part of it. But that's not all we're going to focus on in this story. You see, there's so much more. The Rainbow Cultural Garden being one of them. The International Nursery School for Children, run by a vicious sex cult that was found to be involved in the abuse of underage girls, at the very least. It's 100% now. We have the documents, we have the court cases. It's maddening, okay? We have all that, and then you also have the international trafficking of these young girls, okay? Not only via the Rainbow Cultural Garden, right? They were getting these girls that couldn't speak English, right? Making them teachers, many of them underage, so that they could work at these establishments. It was all about a grooming process and putting them around children and brainwashing, okay? But you go down to Mexico, and you have the Salinas connection as well. We're going to show you all this, which was the former president of Mexico's son, who has basically been unscathed, and Franca Parlato, who has done so much work on this. And if you've really been following the case, you'll know that name via Art Voice and his other publications, right, that he was putting out there and doing this work, and often getting my local media to take a look at it, the Times Union and the Metro at the time, who did extensive work on this before the international media even covered it. And after all that, Clare here thought she had cut a deal where she would do 21 to 27 months. And if not, she could appeal that deal. Well, the feds want more. Still not nearly enough, and we're going to show you why. And remember, Sarah Bronfman was involved in this as well. She just jumped ship. Before any of the charges came on, she's just gone. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't want to speculate. We don't want to be too harmful of content here because we've already been fully demonetized on this channel. You know, the algorithm doesn't like us so much, despite amazing numbers, analytics, people being interested in these topics because the mainstream media often doesn't cover them, but obfuscates them. We're not allowed to make a living on this platform 5+ months. 5+ months now. We've reviewed it 4+ months. So I only do it with your help, $5, $10, $15. It absolutely means the world to me. Thumbs the video up, subscribe and share. And remember, if they do kick me off the platform altogether, I will be over on Rockfin. But you should go make a free account now anyway and check out yesterday's exclusive over at the Rockfin, the Graveyard Shift at the Union for the Unwanted, and many other exclusives as well. In fact, I'll be doing an interview this evening with Good Lion Films, and I think I will exclusively put my version of it, which will probably be 30, 40 minutes long, over here on the Rockfin. So let's get into it. Feds asked for 5 years in prison for Clare Bronfman, Seagram's heiress who bankrolled upstate Nexium sex cult. Let's talk about this for a second. Not only did she bankroll the cult, but obviously it's been a pretty big whitewash abroad because she bankrolled the entire defense of all these people to the tune of $14+ million that we know about. It's probably a lot more at this point. Okay, that's the kind of power and influence that woman behind me has. And her sister Sarah. And again, in the court documents and in the media, she is very much portrayed as the victim of Keith. And she still will not denounce him to this day. We briefly covered that a few weeks back when she had written a letter to the judge. But make no mistake about it. Okay, this woman, when you read what has happened and how, children were put in rooms, okay? Teenage girls were put in rooms for years and tortured and threatened. And not only threatened, driven places where they thought their lives were in jeopardy, filmed in grotesque sexual activity. Women very close to this committed suicide. Okay? We know all of this stuff. And she's challenging this. We're talking about, again, 60 months is what they want. That's a joke. This woman should be in life in prison, period. It shows you that even when the most grotesque of crimes are put out there, every once in a while you get a win, right? The Harvey Weinstein thing, again, is a win. And that's why we got to keep pushing on this one. But notice all the Hollywood ties are done. It's kind of gone into the background. There's certainly people that were not brought in, okay? And you look at this, and the feds are asked Monday for a sentence over the guideline recommendations proposed by the probation department, which was 24 to 30 months. So the probation department, after them cutting this deal, said, well, we'll make it 30 months. But you got to understand, once again, these people, just like Hassert didn't even do his 15 months. If she gets 5 years, she might not even do 2. She might not even do 3 max. Period. Okay? That's how sick this is. And that's why she wanted to get, 2 to 3, 2.5. And then maybe she would do, 8 months to 12 months at basically a country club. Because she's a billionaire. Okay? Whether or not they still have a cool billion because of all the extortion and electronic espionage that these people were involved in. You talk about bot communities and harassment campaigns and hacking. NXIVM was, neck deep in that stuff. In fact, you know what? If you want to go check something out, over in my documentaries playlist, okay, where are we? Actually, we'll go to home here. And you see this NXIVM Exposed. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and it's not really a documentary. What it is I attended this symposium where you can listen to a victim's mother. You can listen to one of the reporters that was involved and a lawyer talking about what law enforcement was doing and the proceedings there. You want to understand how deep this got. I mean, that gives you a good idea of how ruthless these people are. In fact, one of the women was one of Ranieri's girlfriends for a long time. Talks about being at a high school volleyball game and, for the first time watching Keith, kissing some young teenage girl who's still in high school who runs off the court and her being in shock. That's how brainwashed these people were. Again, I don't know if I trust everything she says either because of the ruthless sociopathy. And basically, remember, this was a, sexualized cult based on a lot of Scientology type methods. I want to put that out there. He was having things patented, it is very odd. So amidst all this, when it was first breaking back in 2018, a lot of these small little Rainbow Cultural Garden schools, okay, they were still open. You see this? Rainbow Cultural Garden in posh Midtown Miami. All right, and he had put that there in 2015. And you look at this, and you're like, wow, look at all these people. They're all connected to, again, this was in 2015, Raquel Pereira, wife of 7-time Latin Grammy winner Alejandro Sanz, debuted a school called the Rainbow Cultural Garden in posh Midtown Miami. But the thing is, there were many of these schools, okay, the Rainbow Cultural Gardens, and if you look, they were based out of the UK. You can see the CEO. These were all with these small children. I mean, we're talking preschool age in many cases. So these monsters were around kids. And this never got explored. Life after Nexium. Emiliano Salinas has a new business plan to get electricity contract for Baja, Mexico, as he walks from Nexium unscathed and untouched. And many of these girls that we know about, not all, but many of them, were relations to this man. Okay, let me just show you the cult, like, you know, they're all wearing green, they're dancing. I've played videos. I have a whole playlist if you really want to get into how dark this gets. Unscathed. Again, it shows you there is a predator class and their minions who are truly untouchable. You may have to burn one or two of them, right? You may have to burn one or two of them. But my guess is that now this is going to drag out into court at least another, 6 to 12 months, and we'll see where it goes from here. I want to believe. I want to believe they're breaking up these rings. I want to believe that they're taking down big players. I do. But when you see the world and you look how it really works, and you see the justice system, and you see these opposing classes where people like this woman behind me literally buy human beings. Think about that. Purchase human beings. Okay? And use them as objects. How do you think those people look at you and me and your family and friends? Do they even consider us human? Or are we just things? Are we like a video game to them that they can just throw away to the side? They have their fun, their entertainment. I'm serious. Are we even like pets to them? I don't know. But I think we should ask the question. And again, this woman deserves much more than 5 years. Any way you look at it, it is a complete whitewash. Okay, it is a complete whitewash. So once again, thumbs it up on the way out. Subscribe, share. You're not going to see this story, focused on again in the mainstream. You're not going to see, NBC, CBS, Fox News demanding that Salinas and others be brought to justice, that we get to the bottom of this, that we make sure all of their assets are gone and all of their crimes are exposed. No, let's brush it under the rug. So $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. We're fully demonetized. Share the channel, okay? Check out the documentary films, but share the channel. Find one video that you think's important, share it with somebody else in a direct message. It does wonders. That's how we spread the word here. That's how we get people to subscribe. And remember, if they kick me off this platform, rockfin.com/Jason Burmis is where you'll find me. If you are a premium subscriber and you do endorse me, you get everybody else's content, which is super cool and totally worth it. This is $9.99 a month if you go premium, but there's plenty of free stuff, as you can see behind my head, right? And exclusive free stuff, just like the Union of the Unwanted. If you do go that way, you get everybody's premium content. So it's like a Netflix for creators. I love Rockfin. Again, without it, I probably could not be moving to Iowa like I am. Couldn't be doing it without you guys either. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.